Well, good afternoon. My lovely co-presenter, Friederike von Hagen, and myself, Thomas Baaken, we are coming from the Münster University of Applied Sciences. And we started an experiment, so to say, 3 years ago as an experiment, but now it is established and we are more than convinced that it is really an interesting case to present, and maybe you can take home some ideas and establish it in your own universities and professional environment. The Science to Business Marketing Research Center, what we are coming from, is a center which is purely concentrated on how to market science to businesses. So to overcome the traditional technology transfer approach, everybody knows this is not really working, but if you apply marketing approaches, instruments, and methodologies to get closer to businesses and industry, to market the science is far more easy. In this center, we have about 20 academics working, in this case from 9 different nationalities, and they all are financed by third-party money, except myself as a professor, based on European research, public research funds, or, and this is in many cases, consulting projects to universities around the world on all 5 continents. We have created the UBC, University Business Cooperation Ecosystem, for the European Commission in 2010 and 11 by analyzing 6,280 interviews of all universities in Europe. And one of the outcomes was that we have 8 different ways of how universities are cooperating with businesses. Another delivery is the stairway of partnership development. Every partnership of a university with a company is starting with a very small project to build trust. And you cannot have a partnership like in real life. It's not possible, a partnership by asking a woman, do you want to marry me, without knowing her. So you have to build trust. And after a while, you are working together. And what we are going to introduce to you is this kind of small projects which are starting a process of building relationships between companies and universities. Also, we are challenged to teach entrepreneurial skills and behavior and attitudes to students. This is all over the world. All of you also like to create entrepreneurs in your countries, but is it really possible to teach entrepreneurship? No, it is not. You have to develop students to entrepreneurial thinking and acting people. So just to address some of the elements, what an entrepreneurial student has to fulfill, like in behavior and skills, locus of control belief, that they think they can influence the world, have influence on other people, empathy with real life, understanding the process of doing business, understanding market needs and expectations of potential customers, and identifying and exploiting opportunities. But how to do it? How is it possible to really create entrepreneurial thinking students in higher education institutions and a university like ours? Is it really possible? Well, the way on how we are doing it is we are working with industry on a project during the teaching period. So this is a group of like 12, 15 students, and a company is providing a task to the group of students. And now they are working, guided, certainly, with under my or our and academic guidance on the project. We have done 100 projects like this during the last few years. And they all have been very, very successful. And they all have created a so-called triple win situation. And this is the title of our paper. All the projects, this is a very typical time frame, are starting at the beginning of the semester by a kick-off meeting. The company is coming into the university, presenting the company, but also certainly the task and what they are looking for. And then we start working on the problem, and finally, after 12 weeks, something like this, we are going to present the results on the company's premises to the board of the company. There's a lot of work and passion into projects like this, as you can imagine. It is not just teaching and learning. The students identify themselves very strongly with the problem, with the company, and they really want to achieve a very good result and a very good project outcome. It is part of a circle. We are delivering tools and cases to them so they know how to apply a tool, or how to develop a questionnaire, or how to create or draw a sample or something like this. So all the tools which are necessary to really fulfill this kind of tasks. Then we have a theoretical lecture on marketing, international marketing, strategic marketing, and we do have the project. We are going to introduce 8 key elements which make this concept very, very successful. Key element 1 is that theoretical concepts delivered in lecture, and then the students transfer this theoretical model into the project, like questionnaires, like statistical analysis, presentation skills, everything, how to run an interview, everything which is small tools, what is necessary to really run a project like this. And the projects are always, this is one of my academic, this one it was a student last year, but now he will join the team and do his PhD from the 1st of January next year. So the very good ones are staying in the team. Key element 2.
Key element 2 is touch point management. So it is not just to have sort of a case study. It's a real world experience, and you have real world touch points with the management of companies. So as you could see here, it's a briefing session. So the member of the board, I think, of the company is coming to the university and talks to the students about his or her company, as well as to the problem they provide to the students. In the second step, so the first step is the briefing, the second step will be working sessions of the students, and they will have, after some time, a rebriefing so that they really access the right problem of the company. So all of them know what to do. Always from every session of the students, there will be made minutes, and it will be weekly, of course, of all the 12 weeks. They will have a minute every week, giving the minutes to the company too, so always the company knows what they do the whole time. So if there's something which is not going in the company's interest, they could stop it, or they could give it another direction or so. And because of students in reality don't know how to write minutes, we give them a formula. So there are presenters, sort of students, they are present, some are absent, and they will write something about the discussions they made within the time, and they have a second agreements, so that the company as well as the students know what they have agreed, because after some times if you don't write it, you don't know it any longer. And the third part is tasked for next meeting, so that everybody really knows what he or she had to do for the next meeting. The final step of this work is a presentation to the company, and normally all the students, the whole group goes to the companies and presents their results. And what is very special, every single student of the group has to present. So it's nobody who could really hide after the other or behind the other.
Interestingly, it happens all the time that the company now is approaching one of the students who performed very well, asking him or her to join the company, because now the student has already worked three months for the company. The students know the company, the problem, the market, the product, and also the challenge. And so the company is trying to get people on board from this group. So it's also a kind of an intermediate of providing jobs to students. Key element 3 is team working and internationalization of the group. So if you can see, for instance, for example, this group, you will find 10 different nationalities under the group, and the tasks we have to solve are mainly international, like can you analyze the North American market, or identify potential clients in Latin America, or how are our competitors from the Asian market operating in the Australian market, something like this. And we analyze those kinds of problems, and we need culture and language competencies to solve these kinds of problems. Well, some students and some impressions. We also have kind of long nights, 2 weeks before we present to the company. The students think they are ready and the presentation is ready to present. Then we have a fake presentation in the internal one, and then we recognize it's not yet really ready. There are mistakes in it, it's not perfect, something is missing. And then we agree, like, okay, we stay today until it is ready. Everybody agrees, and then, well, it is 8 o'clock in the night. The first students say, well, I have an agreement, a meeting with a friend. And we say, no, we stay until it is ready. It is at 10 o'clock, it is 12 o'clock, midnight. Well, but now my last bus is going. Yeah, but no, we finish it. We agreed, all of us, that we finish it until it is done. Then at 2 o'clock in the night, maybe we are ready, maybe at 4 o'clock. But we stay all together as long as it is necessary to finish and to really complete and finalize the presentation. Well, in this moment, they have a lot of complaints about that. Meanwhile, we have pizza session and Coca-Cola and so on. But at the very end, years after that, they say, well, that was one of the best sessions we ever had. I learned that we have to deliver, we have to really perform. And this is what I do now in the consultancy agencies all the time. So we have to really deliver results in a very accurate form. Key element.
Key element 4, it's bachelor and master students work together in one project, but of course in different roles. The bachelors, could you please, the bachelors are doing the down-to-earth work. They develop the project design, they conduct secondary research by themselves, they develop a questionnaire, for example, conducted the field research managing, analyzing, and interpreting the data so that they learn a lot of down-to-earth, real-world work. But on the other, they of course create a final presentation and the report, and as Thomas said, sometimes it takes a long time, a long night maybe. Whereas the master students do all this managerial work, so they do develop the research agenda. They do leadership, so they are leaders of these international bachelor students' teams. They learn a lot about project management, about motivation, about quality assurance. They design the milestone settings, coordinate and deliver the working groups, and manage strategic project elements. So they do all what they have to do after finishing their master's studies.
As you can imagine, this is taking a lot of work from the lecturers, handing it over to the masters, but they experience themselves in managerial functions. Key element 5, build relationships and create value, nurture trust with the company. This is referring to the model of developing trust and partnership development model. So what we are also doing is customer satisfaction surveys, how satisfied have the companies been with the project. Those are some testimonials of CEOs of companies. This one is to maybe interesting to look at. The project with international students, positive momentum in our company. So it's not just the delivery of the content and that they are able to adapt to take students on board, but we have created a specific momentum in the company. It is not only that, as we expected, got results of high quality, not only that we could choose and pick some students, the project contributed significantly to make our staff thinking and acting unconventionally and innovative. Thus, they longed to new horizons and turned themselves to proactive and initiate businesses. So I'm looking forward to the next project. So we have impact in the company as well, not only on the students. And we do posters, so every company gets a poster, and you can be sure this is presented in the hall or the offices of the company.
The key element 6 is a qualified certificate of participants on company's letterhead. So it's not a certificate of the university as such, but a certificate of the company, which is individualized to the students, so the students' names is on it. It is written what they have done, or she or he has done. It is said something about the project, so everybody could see what they have done in the project. And there is, as you could see here, there's a very special thing, so that a special person, this is Janik Schweitz, he did whatever he did as a master student in managerial roles. So that is very, very helpful for the students when they applicate in companies, that they can say, okay, we have done a real world case and we have been doing very well.
In their job application process, once they have finished their studies. Key element 7, press release. So the university and the company is launching press releases. The companies are proud and happy to work with science together, and they acquire it for new customers. Key element 7, we are creating third-party income with it. So the companies pay 7,500 euros, which is not really much. It's even for a small and medium-sized company, it is a very low, from German perspective, very low money. And as we do 4 projects per semester, those who are mathematicians in the room will end up with 60,000 euros per year. And that is one of the columns of financing my institute. Key element 8 is institution, education. I'm not reading this out. Those of you who are interested in reading it in more detail, provide us with your business card and we are sending the presentation directly to you. So it says that the students are very, very happy. It's challenging and a lot of work, but they are very happy to do it like this. And all of the elements of entrepreneurial acting and thinking are addressed and fulfilled. Thank you very much for your attention. We are open for questions.